Welcome everyone, it's Friday evening. You could be outside partying, but it's time for Heroes Lounge instead, where we are bringing a Division 2 game between Band of Brewers and Silence Suspended But Sweet. We're going to get the show on the road in just a few minutes. Now, those of you in the chat, I notice, are expecting a Caviator cast, Karis and Aviator. Aviator will be joining soon, TM, for this cast. He's probably just shaving, which is something I neglected. So this is Division 2, and we're going to have Band of Brewers versus Silent Suspended But Sweet. Two teams who are both doing very well so far in Division 2. They are. Let's have a quick gander at the stats. They are so Band of Brewers so far have won 2 out of 3 matches. Silent Suspended But Sweet also have won 2 out of 3 matches. So both doing well in the division so far, but of course it's early on in the season. Band of Brewers, though, they have Transparent. He's their captain, and he's also been the captain before of that legendary cup team, 4B1B, who won the legendary cup a couple of seasons ago. So they definitely, they have some people there who have fiercely contested the legendary cup and indeed won before. On the other hand, you have for Silent Suspended But Sweet, their captain Erin. She's been in Lounge for a fair few seasons now, and in teams with differing names. I don't think they've ever won the playoffs, but they have made it there to the playoffs a few times, and indeed have played against 4B1B in a previous playoff where 4B1B were victorious. So Transparent looking to, reiterate the victories of the past, but the rosters are different. The rosters are different from those days. These teams are going to be providing something a little bit different from what we've seen in the past. So I'm just tweaking the sunlight a little bit. I sadly cannot turn the sun off. Helpfully, you don't see any scores at the top, but you will later on. So, with that in mind, let's get Aviator into the cast. Welcome, Aviator.
Sorry, fashionably.
Just a second, Aviator. Just 1 second. I'm just going to pause you there. Now you can talk. Sorry, go on.
Sorry, rewind. Sorry for being late, everybody. But we're here and we're ready to cast a Division 2 matchup. This is quite a spicy matchup, Karis. Obviously, the two teams know each other. I'm sure you've covered that off as well. So I'm looking forward to this game quite a lot, as I'm sure you are as well.
Yeah, it should be very interesting indeed. Definitely teams that, like I was saying, both doing well in Division 2 so far. And they've got a bit of history of rivalry between them, so it should be juicy stuff. And there's a bunch of other Heroes Lounge casts on this evening, some or all of which I have forgotten, except for the one that is my own team. But you can check them all out on the heroeslounge.gg/calendar.
Or in the Discord, the stream announcement has just been posted, so you can see all the stuff that's coming up tonight quickly in the Discord as well.
Eagle-eyed viewers will note that the sun is literally in my face right now, so let's move some of...
It's slightly on your neck as well. It's like highlighting a glorious area of the chest.
Anyway, let's move on from my chest and into draft in game number 1 in this best of 3 series between Band of Brewers on the left and Silence Suspended But Sweet on the right.
And Band of Brewers, yeah. What do you think we're going to see on BOE, Karis, from these two teams? Obviously, we usually talk about the comps, right? You usually either have a kill comp or a race comp or sort of like a mix, right? Nowadays, obviously, Reyna is extremely valuable. Bloodlust, as I'm sure every viewer is aware, Bloodlust is OP currently.
Yeah, Bloodlust is something that's really dominating. It's starting to creep into basically every Heroes Lounge draft. And you either have to, draft it, ban it, or have an answer to it. Because you can have answers like Gust, like Emerald Wind, like Blinds, Artanis Bind maybe.
Sorry, did you just say Emerald Wind?
Yep, because Brightwing is a fantastic healer, and I won't hear any arguments.
Sorry, chat. Karis just said some awful swear words, and I apologise for the young viewers at home. But um, do you know what I really like into Bloodlust? Earthquake. I think Earthquake is a really, really nice sort of counter to it. Pop Earthquake and yeet, run away, or even like Sanct Earthquake as well. But we see a Samuro ban. Now, is that targeted against Rogue and Fizz? Both of them play this hero.
Yeah, I think so. You don't want a rogue Samuro running out after you. I think that could be something really difficult to deal with. But on the other hand, the more bans they're using on targeting, the less they've got to deal with the race. Now, Greymane is a race hero, and also something that Rogue, I think they're afraid of Rogue being on some kind of melee assassin and just running at them and causing a real problem. So that's the idea there, but there's still commonly picked range race heroes. Of course, race isn't the only way to draft here. If you've got an inferior race comp, you can draft for kind of side lane soak and defense. But typically, race heroes are also defense heroes. So, particularly the ranged ones. So, there's the Li Ming getting picked up early.
Yeah, obviously they want to high value that Li Ming. I was expecting possibly an ETC pickup. I know Band of Brewers do like that ETC or Johanna. So, but both are open, so they realise that they can first pick the Li Ming and take either ETC or Johanna in their next rotation. So, nice play. But also, the Bloodlust is open, so whether we can see a Rhaegar Jimmy coming up in the other one.
Yeah, I think I was. Yeah, I would go that. Yeah, absolutely. That's you've left open Bloodlust. You've left open Reyna. Reyna, is he the best race hero at the moment in the game?
I think is it, unless Greymane goes the sort of the race build, the absolute Papega build. Don't recommend going that build, but if you go it, I think it's got more race per minute than Reyna.
Right, but definitely Reyna one of the stronger ones for sure.
Yeah, that's the Eager Wolf, Wolfheart, all that, the really sort of full stacked Wizen duelist kind of build.
Rexxar getting picked up there. You don't see Rexxar as much here on Battlefield as on say Dragonshower or Braxis, both of which were banned, by the way, by these teams. But he's definitely still a strong solo laner and one that has to be contended with. And there's the ETC pickup that you were talking about by Time Bullet, formerly of Complex.
Yes, obviously I know Time Bullet extremely well. Played with me for a season.
Me too.
But I also... Oh, you too? Yes, you were on the team, I forget.
It's okay, so did the team.
No, we added you to the Hall of Fame. It's fine. But no, I know Lazy as well personally. I know he really likes to play Rexxar, and he does play a mean Rexxar. And there's the Johanna ban as well. So I quite like this. They've taken ETC, they've banned Johanna. Garrosh still open though.
So is Medivh, by the way. Fizz famous for his Medivh, as implied by the name there, Fizz Eve. So you are leaving the Medivh open. Now Medivh doesn't really offer anything at all for the Immortal, so that's the downside to him on this map. But he's still
Portal engages. Yeah, absolutely.
You just play for fights. But then if you're playing for fights, then why have you drafted the Reyna, I suppose? There's a Blaze main tank. I wonder if Transparent's got any copy pasta about that.
It might not be a Blaze main tank.
Oh, you think they could put the Blaze off lane and
they still could.
Yeah,
right?
but they would have to do a swap.
Yeah, I don't think it is I think it is going to be Blaze main tank, but they could always do the other way around, because obviously Zeratul in the 4-man on BOE is a bit kind of meh on this map, I think. It's not really high rotations, but you could go for the gank squad. But we do see 4-man Thrall and Deckard Cain, the old man himself, coming out.
Portal Bloodlust being called in the chat. Portal, you use the Bloodlust and you just run over the enemy, and they can't even run away with that Earthquake, for example, that you were talking about, because you've got portals to chase them. So that's a squishy team. I'll tell you what, that's a squishy team with only Blaze as the front line. Yes, you've got the Zeratul there to cause a nuisance and a distraction. If Zeratul gets locked down, he will be punished though. But that's the question, I suppose, is can he avoid that?
But also, Karis, Archon, Bloodlust.
Oh, it's gonna be brutal damage.
It's a disgusting combination implored, and I'm not sure. I think there's like a visual bug as well at present, where Tassadar just grows and grows and grows and becomes this like giant Tassadar by the end of the game. I'm not joking. I think it's actually like a visual thing.
Well, I look forward to seeing that. That could be.
But we may find out momentarily if that is such a thing.
So I mean, I think on the side of Silent Suspended Bitsui, they've got to be a little bit nervous about the squishiness of their team. There's a chance that Thrall can just go to town if Page Biscuit gets free real estate, like just flanking there. And Blaze has only got, he's got the one peel. Of course, there is the bunker, and that will save you a bit. But if they can just tear that bunker down, then what have they got left in terms of protection? That's going to be the tough situation.
Or do you just fully commit and go all in with the combustion?
Let's find out, though, as we go into game number 1 in this best of 3. And on the left in blue, it's Bandit Brewers with Time Bullet, formerly of Complex, on the ETC. Insanidi on the Li Ming. Transparent, formerly of 4B1B, former Legendary Cup winner there on Deckard Cain. Page Biscuit on the Thrall. And Lazy on the Rexar.
Yeah, and in the red side, we have Silent Suspended But Sweet with Rhaegar played by Mirai, Zeratul by Rogue, Tassadar by Fiziv, Blaze Main Tank played by Erin, and Jimmy Rayner played by Fixoider? What do we say? Fixoider?
I say Fixoider.
Fixoider,
you
yeah.
say Fixoider.
Also, it's Insane Eddie, by the way.
Okay.
Insanity, that's it, sorry, I got it. Yeah.
Anyway, let's take a look at the level 1 talents. Force armor for Li Ming, nothing surprising there. Wants to be able to handle that Tassadar Zeratul damage that's going to be coming her way. Blaze, of course, going for the new habits, because otherwise they would get CC'd a lot by the ETC and Rexar. And they need to be getting stuck in, and particularly in for Mosh Pit. That's going to be one of the interrupts as you press D on the Blaze and charge in.
Yep. But top lane, obviously, we are going to see that solo lane Zeratul. Solo lane Zeratul can pressure the Rexar as well. Like, you can sort of... But Lazy needs to just respect the Rexar Zeratul a little bit. Not so much at level 1, but definitely sort of post 4, right? But they see automatically lands 1 W and gets a bit of chunk of damage on.
Oh, speaking of a bit of chunk of damage, Blaze taking a fair chunk for trying to stun ETC. Yes, gets the stun on ETC. ETC took a little bit of damage, but Blaze took a chunk in response. Still, nothing too damaging from either team so far. Both teams playing a bit cautiously. Blaze needs those globes, trying to zone ETC off the globe, but ETC controlled the globe and actually stole it, so it's 3 globes to 2 so far in favour of the ETC, and of course, ETC might be able to zone this one as well.
What do you think of not getting Block Party, though, as the ETC into this comp?
Yeah.
Obviously, Tassadar negates it, right? Is that the thinking here?
Tassadar will cut through it as well. And yeah, I mean, obviously, the Block Party is a nice idea against the Reyna, control that. But yeah, the Tas and probably the Blaze as well would have cut through the blocks a little bit. So not too worried about that if Blaze charges to safety there. So reasonable pickup to get a Prog Rock. Nothing too exotic there. As both the top and the bot lane's fairly even, but Rogue on the Zeratul taking another chunk actually out of Rexar, who has to sit back. But fortunately, he's got a pet bear who can soak up all the XP.
Yeah, absolutely. Misha, the real hero in the top lane, making sure she can catch that XP. Rogue just really trying to freeze Lazy out of it as well, right? That's the kind of concept here. But we see both teams going for their hard comps now. The red team capping it a little bit earlier, actually. Typically you want to cap it around the sort of 15 second mark is the ideal scenario, where it pushes with that next wave as well. That's the sort of ideal timing for the camp.
Yes, so I think because of that slightly earlier capture by the red team, Misha's going to clear that camp a little bit before the Immortals are already up. It's not quite clear though. So Misha is still staying in lane to clear that. Blaze charges in onto the ETC, puts a bit of pressure. Reyna's there with the follow-up damage. In comes the Ming volley, scares off the Rhaegar. Touch, Mirai, she'll have to sit back for now. In goes the ETC with another slide onto Blaze this time. And I think Blaze might be out of position here with the roots on top interrupting the E.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we go. Oh, gets away with 100 health though. Rexar coming down to join in the fight. Gets a stun onto Jimmy, but the team isn't quite in range yet to do this. So are we going to see... Yeah, we see the red team now opting to clear the hard camp out. Didn't really do anything down to bot lane. Tassadar poking away. And we are going to see Li Ming and Thrall going to race.
Yeah, so definitely the red team has the better race if no one's contesting. But of course, you know, with a heavy front line of ETC Rexar, they can maybe zone a bit.
But the big boy Misha stun though into the Immortal stun as well. That was really nicely played there by Lazy on the Rexar.
And it's bought quite a lot of time actually for them. And in fact, that means there's a slight immortal lead for red team, but not a lot, as they now try to get work done. The big race from both teams here. They're trying to brace them down. The blue immortal's falling down, and it is the first immortal goes over to the red team. Silence suspended, but sweet. And they're
we're obviously
looking for a fight.
contesting. Yeah, they're contesting over the globes here as Time Bullet goes in. Doesn't have slide available now though. And Jimmy is just auto-attacking away. The Tassadar Force Wall coming out. The Tassadar damage on top of it. The stun. And ETC falls down. First Bird going over to Silence Suspended, but sweet.
They
They're
might
not
get
done though
another
as Rogue goes back in and gets the kill onto Thrall. 2 kills to nothing. Level 7 in favour with the Immortal. What a bad timing to die right now. But the red team opting to go bot lane instead.
Yeah, it's the more common thing these days, isn't it, to go opposite the Immortal for the first one, because since the fort changes, it's a little bit hard to push with objectives. But given that they've got some kills, maybe that wasn't necessarily the optimum. It's hard to say though, and I think both ideas would have got them some value. They're getting 2 towers top, 2 towers bot, and they've got the well in the bottom lane as well. So a reasonable result there from the first Immortal, given a small shield.
Yeah, they're about a level lead ahead right now as well. So that's the main thing, right? Is you want to get that level lead and just push your advantage.
Yeah, and they are going to sit back now. They don't have to do anything rash. Maybe they can just even wait for 10, given it's a sizable XP lead, as you say. Level 7 talents are in, by the way. Crossfire for Blaze, as we might expect. Cleanse for Rhaegar to deal with the mountains of lockdown that are coming out of Band of Brewers.
Apologise for the notification that keeps saying that I'm leaving the game. I'm not leaving the game. It's just it keeps freezing for some reason.
I will hide that so that no one thinks you're leaving the game anymore, whether you have or not. Oh, Blaze goes in. Lovely knockback from Time Bullet with the face melt. Stops the Blaze charge connecting onto Thrall. And that's one of the difficulties when you're playing Blaze. If you can get interrupted on your engages. So can Diablo and Garrosh, by the way, the same kind of way. Very easily by an ETC, who really is the anti-tank tank. And the way the Blaze has to deal with that, of course, is to press D. But that's a big cooldown, and then you don't necessarily have it if you get in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, ETC is one of the greatest peel tanks as well, I think, that you can have, right? Him and Johanna. Oh, as Rogue walks back into the root, though. Mega damage here. Oh, but it's actually Misha that falls. Rogue was just baiting.
Yeah, lovely play from Rogue there. Really pushing the limits. And gets himself a Misha kill, as well as surviving nicely. Of course,
but also bot lane, we get the fort.
Yeah.
That's an early fort as well.
Because a great call from Silence Suspended, but sweet. As soon as they saw Band of Brewers in the top lane, bang, take that fort. Because of course the towers were already gone from the Immortal push earlier. Rogue did miss a bit of XP top because he had to half away and was not in a position to soak. But still, a full half, maybe 2/3 of a level lead for Silence Suspended, but sweet. And they're just going to wait here for level 10, are they?
Yeah, you'd expect so, right? The blue team need to heavily force it. Aaron goes in there, misses the charge. Page Biscuit turns around, lands the root, the stun as well from Misha. Cleanse coming out here, is it enough? And in the backline, meanwhile, Rogue goes in and gets the kill onto Insanetti.
He did indeed, and now Erin might be in a little bit of trouble, but she's still Blaze, and Blaze is a very hard hero to kill. Rogue jumps out at the perfect timing again, really dancing with the limits here on the hero. Rogue knowing when to go in and when to go out, and getting those kills. And the same with Erin on the Blaze. Creating a distraction by looking like a target and then surviving, crucially. And that's got themselves 2 kills and an Immortal with a decent shield now going top lane.
Yeah, and you saw the damage really coming out from Tassadar there and the value from his level 7 Psionic Echo. So it's when you hit a Q after casting W, it will create a Psionic Storm underneath the hero. And you can see it there, and the slow as well from the Q is just enough to delete the Thrall. Yeah,
and now the ultimates are in as well. So now they have the bunker to give Blaze even more survivability, even more ability to stay in a long time. Zeratul with the Might of the Nerazim. Oh, in goes the Blaze stun onto the Thrall. Gets the bunker out to immediately save himself. In comes the sleep though. So Blaze just hides in the bunker, says you can't put me to sleep in here. And Rexar's been found out by Rogue. And then comes more stuns from Aaron. Goes on to Transparent. He's got to start sitting back. Deckard's falling low, and so is Thrall. And they will have to sit back and clear this Immortal, if they can, from a safe distance.
Yeah, Rogue absolutely popping off on his Zeratul here so far. Really just diving in, securing the kill with that Might of the Nerazim pickup at level 10 and able to dash back out, well, teleport back out as well. Really nice play so far from the Zeratul. I always feel like a Zeratul early game is sort of a bit risky, right? You kind of accelerates the late game, particularly post 10. That's when he sort of starts coming alive, and then post 16 becomes a monster, and at 20 as well. But this early game so far from the Zeratul player, really well played.
Well, yeah, I mean, if he's doing this in the early game, what's he going to do in the late game? Could be absolutely terrifying. He's
Yeah,
only had
because
3 kills already and 2 for
yeah,
Testa.
because we saw the Bloodlust being popped, and we saw the Deckard Cain ultimate coming out, trying to negate that, but it just wasn't enough. Zeratul managed to blink the sleep, and then goes into the backline and just wreaks havoc on the base. But it's here we see the blue team trying to catch them out here. Erin gets the root, pops the bunker early here. That's an early bunker. The sleep coming out from Transparent. The balls are popped as well. Page Mister goes in with the thrall. Earthquake coming out. Rogue in the backline though, going on to Lazy. Lazy taking a lot of damage, gets a stun. Mosh Pit coming out, and it's Lazy and the Jimmy that go down here.
Yeah, and Aaron charges in, wants to kind of get some response, but yeah, it's 1-for-1 so far, and I think they might be reasonably satisfied with that on the side of Band of Brewers. But
Yeah, obviously when you're behind and you get that kill and you get that boost of catch-up experience, it's really good for you.
that is good for them, but they did commit the Mosh Pit and the Earthquake for it, which are big cooldowns, and only really the bunker was committed in response. So I think in terms of cooldowns, definitely Silence Suspended, but Sweet won that fight as Rogue gets knocked sideways, and that stopped him from threatening Li Ming too much. Not that much though. Li Ming might even die here. Rogue with a work, but in comes the Deckard Triangle, and Zeratul has been caught, but the Bloodlust turnaround maybe. Bunker Blaze charges in, looking for the Deckard Cain. ETC just about slides away, but there's that Bloodlust Archon starting to chop through the ETC. 100 HP, and Time Bullets away.
Yeah, absolutely. Gosh, the red team really trying to clutch it here. And there we saw that Bloodlust Archon, which is just, oof, a big yikes of damage. And now they just return to race. And whilst you've got Jimmy alive, he's just going to shred this Immortal.
But what we did see is the first chink in Rogue's armor. The first time that Band of Brewers have been able to catch Zeratul and punish him for diving, because he was going so deep looking for that Ming, and he's doing that again and again, getting value normally with those dives. If they can catch him out in the late game, that might be very beneficial for Band of Brewers. But of course,
Yeah,
Bloodlust is a problem.
Balls being popped here, the root coming out. Erin taking a lot of damage. She does have bunker available. The sleep coming out on top, trying to zone them away. Erin still trying to hide in this bunker. She's going to have to come out in a moment though. Oh, but see Rogue again going in and just deleting the Rexar. But Erin falls on the Blaze though. Time Bullet falls extremely low.
And Rogue sniffing for kills. He knows that the resources have been committed to kill the Blaze, and he wants to punish them for it. Then he goes looking for Page Biscuit, takes away where's Thrall gone? Rogue completely destroys her, and Rogue does pay for it with his life though this time, and will fall. So 2 for Tuesdays.
Yeah, absolutely 2 for Tuesdays. This isn't a Domino's stream, by the way. But
other fast food pizza delivery services are available.
But I do like what the blue team are trying to accomplish here, right? They get the slide and the bunker pops, and then they pop the Deckard Cain ultimate on top of it, trying to zone the Erin's teammates away from her, really trying to sort of isolate the Blaze. But so far, it's not quite working. Thrall obviously scales into the late game, already at 18 stacks of Crash Lightning at level 1.
Yeah, I agree completely about their plan is use the Deckard Cain sleep to zone. To isolate the Blaze in the bunker. The thing is though, you need to make sure you're taking the bunker down in a timely fashion if you're doing that. So they need to get maybe a touch more damage on that bunker, and then Blaze will be completely exposed with no friends to help her.
This is a bit of a weird call here from the red team. They're playing it slow and safe, which is okay, but they had a really chunky shielded Immortal here. Instead of pushing bot lane with it, they decided to try and sort of split push top, but they don't get any keep here. They're happy with the walls, I guess. But I feel like if they're committed, there could have been a keep, especially with 16. They were really close to 16 at the time as well.
Yeah, well they have got the 16, so now we probably will see a bit more aggression from them. I mean, look where Rogue is sitting. He's sitting invisibly, and Time Bullet doesn't know he's there. Of course, Rogue may or may not know that Time Bullet's there, so he can't see him directly.
I know, it's always funny, right, when you can see everything and you just...
Yeah, we can have a look from Rogue's vision and we can see what he can see. and he will run
Oh,
off
they've seen
now.
him now though. Chris,
Yeah.
Time Bullet has seen him and has pinged the danger warning signs. But there is a push top lane and a push bot lane. But the red team opting to take their camp and not pushing with it. So the blue team doing the right thing here. They just want to sort of freeze the lane and try and get that experience safely soaked.
Look where Rogue is looking for soak. The thing is, he's a very mobile hero. He will be able to jump around, get out of there if needed, but just really trying to get extra soak, extra value on the map, and of course the vision as well. He's always hunting for that. So
Yeah, this camp is always a bit of a weird call for me, right? I feel like it never really does anything, but it does deny it from the map for the other team.
I think the idea of it is more of a deny rather than actually getting value. It's quite clear, easy for the enemy to clear.
So, if you're in the shoes of Banded Brewers right now, you clear the camps. You maybe give first half, I think, at this point. You're never going to get in position, right? So you accept the fact you're going to lose half time, clear the lane, clear top, get 16, and then you can test the second half of this Immortal phase.
Yep, and that's exactly what they've done. The 16s are in. The Mirror Ball for Li Ming, going to give them even more single target damage and that Immortal damage. The Tempest Fury for Thrall. Going for
interesting. We don't see...
Don't see it a lot.
No, usually you see the Thunderstorm, especially with Q at level 1. That's usually the pickup, right? Because it procs that extra damage when you stacked that Thunderstrike. So, questioning that pick. But anyway, so far we do have the Li Ming on the left side. So Li Ming is extremely good to poke on this. But top lane there is a catapult. Chris Time Bullet is going to go and deal with that. Knocks it into the range of the keep.
But he needs to get back here. They need to defend this Immortal. The Zeratul's going in, looking for trouble. Blinks out to safety. The Deckard Triangle has been used. And there's just a little bit of poke from Blaze. Just gradually take that Immortal down, down, down. The thing is, now the blue team need to force a fight. They know that those lanes are rolling in top and bottom, so they need to take the fight sooner rather than later. But they don't want to go onto this Immortal. Page Biscuit steps up, puts a bit of poke onto the Immortal. Time Bullet's there to guard for her if needed. There comes the Blaze stun onto Misha, bouncing onto Thrall. And the Bandit Brewers will sit back once more, but the top and the bottom lanes under minor catapult pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to have to deal with top. Top is going to the second wave coming in with that catapult as well, and the minion wave is going to win that trade as well. So top lane is going to be a big push in. They do clear the catapult, but they are going to have to commit again to the Immortal. They're stuck between a rock and a hard place at present.
Yeah, I think they might have to just stick it out in the middle because yes, the catapults will take keeps. But potentially, if they lose this fight and Immortal, they lose the game. So they're making that kind of calculation right now. And that's a tough situation for any team to call. Insanity misses the Li Ming orb and doesn't quite catch onto Blaze. But here's a Misha stun onto Aaron. She presses the Unstoppable, so sits back for now. So this is the window they need. There's no globes available for Blaze. They need to try and catch something onto Blaze now. In comes the stun from Blaze. Zones the Misha.
Top keep is going to be gone for Bandit Brewers. They need to hard commit now, and here we go. They are stepping up, manning up as it were, into this Immortal. Poking with Li Ming, and they're really committing to this now. Blaze, stun, charge interrupted there by the Thrall route. ETC looking, goes in, gets a slide, Bunker being popped as well. Balls come out here. Fiziv meanwhile on the flank, pushing out damage, but gets stunned. Archon coming out, Bloodlust is going to be popped. And the damage coming out, and look at that Tassadar just shredding away. Mosh pit, but immediately interrupted and bye-bye ETC, see you later. Deleted there by the damage.
And then here comes the stun from Blaze. This is an absolute massacre now. 3 on the deck already. They're looking for more. Ming throws an orb just to try to scare Rhaegar off, but it's not going to achieve anything there. And this is 3 dead. They're going straight for that core.
Yeah, obviously with that keep falling, who needs the Immortal? It's going to do nothing. They just want to get there. But will the new core mechanics, is this clownable? That's the question, Karis. That's what everyone wants to know in chat. Is this clownable?
They need kills right now, Bandit Brewers. They need to catch onto Rogue or Reyna or somebody to stop this push coming from both directions before the Immortal arrives. The Immortal is still getting out of bed. He's had a long night, and now Rogue catches onto Li Ming. That might be all she wrote. Time Bullet's got to make a play here, but there's no mosh pit available. The Deckard Sleep is up. Can they do something? Can Transparent do something? In comes a Sleep onto 2, but Blaze immediately in the bunker. And they're fine.
And the cleanse coming out on Jimmy. Balls being popped here. They want to commit to this though. They need to force, but they know that the Immortal is going to be knocking on their door very shortly of that core. But they're holding their defense so far. Bloodlust is up in 7 seconds though, and that's what the red team are waiting for. They want to wait for this Bloodlust. The Immortal's on the core. They're going to pop Bloodlust and yeet the core.
This looks like it's going to be GG. Zeratul blinks to safety. Yeah, Zeratul's low, but it doesn't matter. It's going to be too little too late. The Immortal's taking the core. It's GG, well played. It's game number 1, going to silence, suspended, but sweet.
Well played, both teams. I think the Zeratul was the sort of factor there in those team fights there. The Zeratul was sort of left, sort of just hovering on that flank invisible and then looking for that single pick-off onto the Rexar, who obviously controls Misha, and Misha's the real hero, not Rexar. So if Rexar dies, obviously Misha's no more as well.
It's funny, I mean, it almost felt like in the early game Zeratul was more terrifying than in the late game. Like, Zeratul early game got so many kills and found so many people out of position. Late game, of course, the fights were a bit more structured for Band of Brewers. They held together a bit more, and so it was harder for Zeratul to get value. But he was still threatening them and, you know, pulling resources his way, which meant they were less able then to deal with, for example, Tastar, who got 52,000 hero damage.
Yeah, the Tastar, especially with that 16 thermal lance, which deals an additional 8% of the maximum health. You saw it in that one fight where ETC got a mosh pit off. Tastar just threw out the damage on top, Q, and it was see you later, ETC, and he just got absolutely deleted.
Yeah, and that's the danger is, you know, if you're an ETC and you step too far forwards, you just get melted, particularly if you're against a Bloodlust Archon.
Yeah, the Bloodlust Archon. But do you think we'll see a Zeratul ban? I mean, we are going to Tomb of the Spider Queen for the viewers at home. Do you think we'll see a Zeratul ban, or do you think they're not going to care about it on Tomb of the Spider Queen as much?
I think the problem is we saw the bans early on in Battlefield that they were banning the Samuro and the Greymane. You've got to be thinking about banning those as well. You can't ban every hero that Rogue plays. They can't just be like, we're just going to completely ban all melee assassins, because...
No, but I suppose in the last game, instead of banning out the Greymane, perhaps you could have banned out the Rhaegar, or first picked the Rhaegar yourself. I mean, yes, you're given the Lu Ming, but it's that sort of toss-up, isn't it? If you don't ban the Greymane, do you get the Rhaegar and Greymane or Jimmy, or do the other team ban it? So the draft plays such a factor in these decision makings. The bans make such a factor in the decision makings of what draft you want to go into.
You're absolutely right, and that's why drafting is so difficult for teams of this quality, because there's so many factors coming into the draft, and they've got to think about, you know, what are their opponents doing, what are they doing, you know, what do they want to do, how do they stop their opponents and achieve their own goals as well. So definitely a tough situation for them.
So, Tomb of the Spider Queen, do you think we're going to see anything different? Obviously, Band of Brewers being one down now, they need to make something happen to decide to make this to a final. Oh my god, I can't speak English today. I've been speaking Welsh all day, so it's confusing. To make this a deciding best of 3.
Yeah, I think.
What am I trying to say? I didn't even say it right then, did I? What am I trying to say?
I think you're trying to say that Band of Brewers need to do something differently in order to take this to game 3.
Correct.
And
thank you for translating.
It's not quite translating from the Welsh. It's not quite clear what it is that they have to do. Like, you know, you were talking about the bands that would be priorities for them, like maybe that Zeratul on for Rogue. But then you would think that they had the draft to deal with Zeratul, because they had a fairly tanky front line. You know, you've got ETC, Rexar, Thrall. That's a lot of CC, and actually, you know, fairly tanky heroes as well. So you would expect Zeratul not to get as much value there. A Decade is not the flimsiest support. Okay, he's not the tankiest either, but he can hold. He's got big staff, let's say.
Yeah, and we do see the Swapperoo coming in as well. I don't know if you've noticed, for the teams, which the viewers will notice when we go into the game. But we are going to see the Yoi K coming in here.
Celebrity caster Joy K is going to be playing for Silent, Suspended but Sweet, and Fixoider is stepping out. Yeah, so I think that's the original 5 that they were planning to play today with Joy K. And I think they only played Fix just because there were some delays. But we are almost ready to go into the draft in game number 2.
Here we go. Tomb of the Spider Queen. Now, obviously, rotations matter heavily in this map. You really want to rotate between top and mid, and maybe even sneak the bot camp as well early on, and put some pressure down that lane. What do you think we're going to see differently? I think Leoric extremely strong on this map in the solo lane, which we haven't seen so far.
Yeah, I think Lyric is definitely a high priority back on this map. I don't think they'll pick him early because you're still worried about kind of the solo lane matchup, and there are ways you can respond to a Lyric. But look, and there you see the Zul ban, because here he's a bit more of a monster than he is on Battlefield.
Yeah, obviously Zul did get a little bit of a nerf. Not being shown. He's been shown some love by Blizzard recently, and he's been buffed to the sort of top meta. But yeah, on this map, I think you still tend to ban him. We haven't seen a Sylvanas ban either, or a pickup, and on this map, with that sieging potential that she gives and the wave clear pace level 4, she could be picked up here.
Yeah, Sylvanas definitely something that they are thinking about probably. I don't know. Again, I don't know how early in the draft that would come. I would like to see potentially a Tassadar ban from Bandit Brewers, because Tassadar was so devastating, or the Rhaegar, because that Bloodlust is, like we were talking about, such a problem. And then, you know, yes, you can take a Falstad for the Gust in response, but is this the best map for Falstad? Maybe. But they have gone for the Tassadar ban, not the Rhaegar.
Whether they're going to see a Johanna first pick instead, though. Johanna obviously extremely valuable in this map, and yeah. There she be.
You want it, you got it. And yeah, and of course, don't forget, she has a blind, so she has a bit of ability to deal with Bloodlust. Not great, because it's not huge duration, unlike, say, Artanis blind or something like that, but it is a slight counter to that. ETC Reyna, so Time Bullet really wanting that ETC, even into Joanna. I have, I called ETC the anti-tank tank. Maybe not against Joanna.
No, there's like a sort of diagram, isn't it? It's like there's a Garrus and there's an ETC, and they sort of clash like that. And then you've got the sort of ETC into Blaze, which kind of counters it. And there's all these sort of circles. There's like the circle of life of tanks, essentially. And Johanna just sits on an island of her own. Doesn't really care about anyone else.
They have left that Samuro open for Rogue, though, and there, he's going to get it.
Now, are you going to ban an Abathur? I know it's Tomb of the Spider Queen, and you don't normally see an Abathur, but Abathur plus Samuro post level 16 is just, you just don't want to play it. You just want to alt F4 your game with that slow and the constant crits from Samuro. I mean, Samuro gets that pick onto Jimmy, for example. Bye bye Jimmy.
I note, by the way, that Mirai has picked up the Joanna and not Eren, and I believe normally Eren is main tanking for Silence is Benny but Sweet, but I wonder if they've changed, if they're gonna tweak the role slightly.
Yeah, and there is that Sylvanas ban, by the way, coming out. Did mention it on this map in particular. I think she's extremely valuable, and we do see Rhaegar being banned out on the other side, so not wanting to play into the Bloodlust. They didn't pick it up early in that rotation, and now they're gonna be not playing with it. Supports left though. I'm going to see Deckard Cain again from the side of Transparent.
I think that could be a solid pickup. He's a good all-rounder. Anna is another favourite of his, but he's gone for the Lucio. I love a bit of Lucio, as you know.
And Mephisto.
I'm not entirely sure what the Lucio is in response to here, and also it does leave open the possibility you'll see like a Varian coming out for the offlane or something, and just get Shattering Throw, and then Lucio doesn't have an ult anymore, because Lord knows he's not going high 5.
But they already have Samuro, right? So I don't think we're going to see a Shattering Throw Variant.
Yeah, I think that's improbable.
But it's Tracer Jaina. Oh, do you know what? So far, I really like the side of Silence Spend a bit sweet. Reyna into Tracer. Obviously, you do like an auto attacker into Tracer. Reyna usually one of the good ones into her, but obviously Tracer now has that sustain plus Malfurion sustain healing as well. It's difficult to deal with. Tracer becomes an annoying little mosquito, but we do have Tracer and Lucio, so it's the battle of the DPS Tracers.
It's maybe tough for Tracer. Don't forget that her best level 13 talent, which is untouchable now, is currently banned in Heroes Lounge because it's bugged. So.
Oh, what if they pick it? Is that an automatic loss? It is, isn't it? It's an automatic fat L.
As a rule, as a caster, I don't get involved in rules questions.
It's a big fat L for the team that picks Untouchables.
We might see that the players remind each other that it's banned.
Yeah, or they could be listening to the cast as well. But obviously, it's not our jurisdiction. We don't care about that. And Transparent may be polite as well. Obviously, he is the EU League manager, and he may just want to politely forewarn that it is banned as well.
He may want to hashtag be nice. As anyway,
That's our motto. Yes, but yeah, he may want to hashtag be nice. Hashtag be nice, everybody in chat as well. But
well, you know, what
are
else
we going to see a
people in chat
contest?
can do?
Is there a contest?
There's
on, by
about
the
to
way?
be. Yes, there is now a contest running. If you want to bet on Band of Brewers, type exclamation mark bet A and a number of points. And if you want to bet on Silent Suspended But Tweet, type exclamation mark bet B and a number of points. And there's 6 minutes left to get your bets in, so you can see the first few kills of the game probably. So that's definitely been horribly timed by me. So let's see how we go as we actually go into the game number 2 in this best of 3 series. And on the left in blue, we have Time Bullet on ETC. We have Transparent on the Lucio. We have Lazy on the Sonya. We have Page Biscuit on the Reina. And on Mephisto, we have Insanity.
And in the right side for the red team is Silent Suspended But Sweet. Looking to make this a quick 2-0. We have Malfurion, played by Joy K, Johanna, played by Mirai, Jaina by Erin, Samuro, played by Rogue, and Fiziv on the newly reworked Tracer.
So they're going to step up. Let's have a look at their level 1 talents. It is a classic smooth moves for Lucio. I love a bit of that auto attack. Exterminator again for Reina. So good for the wave clear and the camp clear. Sonya with the tough as nails, the block. And ETC with the prog rock again.
Yeah, the prog rock, obviously into Tracer, block makes absolutely no sense. Sonya did opt for block, but she's going to be in the solo lane against that Samuro, so later in teamfights there may be an issue, but we do see an aggressive rotation here from the blue team. They're sort of not happy with how game 1 seemed to went here, but Fiziv, being that little mosquito he is, running around, biting the ankles of the blue team.
Yeah, and both teams kind of playing quite aggressively so far, really wanting to give some blows to the enemy team. And it's gone fairly neutrally so far, although Mephisto's taken a chunk of damage. Lucio should be able to heal that up easily enough. And Lucio, of course, playing the role of Tracer for the blue team. And stepping up.
So Reina sneakily going down for the bot camp. This is what I said, they might go for some sneaky bot camp shenanigans. Obviously opting for that Exterminator at level 1, which is definitely the go-to pick. All of you in chat, Ace in the hole, don't bother picking it. Veteran Marksman, don't bother picking it. Exterminator, Exterminator, Exterminator.
Yeah, so and we can see the Exterminator value already, just making short work of that camp, and she will also be able to clear any camps the enemy has got, e.g. in the mid lane, very easily indeed. So nothing too problematic for the blue team so far. Erin rotating down to help clear the Siege Giants with a quick Blizzard, and she'll run off back to the mid lane.
Yeah, and obviously they do pick up their hard camp now. Picking up your hard camp early gives you that sort of advantage for rotating as well, and might even give you an early pay-in if you want to, trying to donate some gens. But Insanity goes in on that Mephisto, takes a lot of damage. Pulse Bomb comes out by Fiziv on that Tracer, but it's not enough. Obviously, Tracer rework does negate that Pulse Bomb damage.
Yeah, she is.
Tracer.
She's less bursty and more sustainy than she used to be. Do you think that's a fair summary?
I mean, she was always a sustain as well, right? She always used to have those insane damage numbers, but she doesn't one-shot anyone anymore. She doesn't have that one-shot potential of damage, I think. And obviously level 10, there's Quantum Spike, which is 6% damage, or there's the other one. There's another talent as well that gives you the generates the bombs quicker or whatever it is. But we are going to see an invade here onto the hard camp, but it's picked up too soon here.
That's why. Well, I tell you what, if you didn't have Exterminator on Page Biscuit, then that camp wouldn't have been done in time, and they would have got the invade off. So already getting value, and of course we saw how easily the Exterminator Reina was able to clear the Bruiser camp of the red team mid. So far, Band of Brewers playing, very decently, and they have themselves a half-level lead already at 3 minutes in to this game number 2. So looking more confident for Band of Brewers in game number 1.
Yeah, exactly. They're really not happy with game 1, right? And it's lit a fire in their bellies, and they are wanting to show their dominance here, which is good though. It's always nice when a team loses the first game and they're here to fight back. Obviously, the only thing about Mephisto with these tower changes, right, is usually on this map, Mephisto could dive past the towers and just poke, especially with the objective. But obviously, with these tower changes, they're going to focus Mephisto if he goes in.
Yeah, and you know whether he's coming back or not, you know he can still die when he's in his shade. So
he can still die.
Yeah.
he's still only a hero. But Mirai taking a bit of damage, but does pop the unstoppable. ETC sliding onto Eren and Fiziv, but should be fine. Page Biscuit takes the Tracer bomb, but does have that fight or flight. Transparent falling extremely low there, down to 80 health, but manages to wall ride to safety.
Yep, and you can see the survivability here. The Lucio is giving them a lot of ability to escape as well as heals. And of course, Lucio, very much a late game healer, will get a lot more healing later on. But in the early game, is giving them that mobility and that ability to just go in and out. And look, still threatening the Tracer as well. So it's a Tracer versus Tracer battle.
Full wave of top though. Look at all that glorious experience and the gems, and they don't want it. But we do see 45 gems already paid in for the blue team, and they're looking to try and secure that pay-in. Fiziv goes in on that Tracer, needs to be careful, doesn't have that pulse bomb available here. Page Biscuit doesn't have a fight or flight available, and falls, and first blood goes over to Silent Suspended but Sweet. Yeah. And now we're going to try and see a pay-in for Silent Suspended but Sweet, but meanwhile, Time Bullet paid top, and it's going to be the first web weavers of the game going over to Band of Brewers.
I think that was a tough situation for Page Biscuit on the Reyna. She kind of got cut off from the rest of her team by the angle that Silent Suspended but Sweet ran at her, and then that is going to be a recurring problem in this game because Samuro and Tracer can run so relentlessly deep into the enemy team and threaten the Reyna.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see post level 10. I think the side of the red team gets stronger, but we are going to see break it down from the sound barrier from Lucio, so that may make a deciding factor in these team fights. Oh, as you see a slide onto Johanna, doesn't have that. Oh, does have the Iron Skin available, but baited it really low there. But bot lane, we see Lazy just putting damage onto the towers, takes one tower himself. Mid lane, they get the wall, and top lane gets the wall as.
Has Rogue killed Lazy? Sorry to distract from the top lane, but yeah, that was very close. Lazy went down to a sliver of HP. Now Tracer's getting run out by a Tracer. The speed won't save you from the pulse bomb, mate. Can he get the auto attack heals off the wall? Not quite. And Tracer secures a kill onto Lucio. So
yeah, Silent Suspended but Sweet playing really well at the moment.
Yeah, a lovely aggression there from Silent Suspended but Sweet when they were under, web weaver pressure, and the result is they've jumped ahead in XP because the kills have meant that the blue team have missed a bunch of XP, and of course the kill XP itself is sizable. So level 10s coming in first for Silent Suspended but Sweet. Bear in mind, just 3 minutes ago they were half a level down.
Yeah, absolutely. That kill netting them that experience. Now 10s are in place. Now, is it enough time to manage to get the pay in for the red team? I don't think it is going to be. They just need this mid wave now, and the blue team. Oh, Johanna with the unstoppable coming out. Level 10s just not quite there for the blue team yet. I think that's just trickle XP. They just need that level 10. I think they'd have pulled the trigger there and tried to go for the kill.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, but they needed the level 10. Mirai now doesn't have, I was about to say doesn't have Iron Skin, shows what I know. She runs in, starts putting the pressure, the Blessed Shield was used. Now there's a Mosh Pit available, and there's no Blessed Shield to interrupt. The Condemn will interrupt after half a second though. Here comes the Reyna damage, tearing Eren to shreds. Jaina's already down. Time Bullet has to sit back a little bit because the Duke of Wellington there just poking away at ETC, but Mephisto comes in with a flank, tries to catch Joy K. 16
oh,
HP!
Hyperion! Oh, the Hyperion damage with the Mephisto poke on top of it going in, and Joy K falling down to 16 health there, but living. Now, I do like that aggression from the Band of Brewers, popping R's all at the same time there. Really nicely played. So one thing you hate to see, right, is when one of your team starts popping R's and they're all out of sync. So nice coordination there from Band of Brewers, and it does net them a pay-in, perhaps.
I'm not so sure about that yet. Rogue's going to sit here and poke. He's taking a fair chunk of damage though, down to 1/3 HP. Time Bullet's going to try to zone the Broccoli Man. And but there's a slide onto Joanna.
Mirai falling extremely low. No Iron Skin available and gets blown up there.
Brilliant from the Brewers. They're starting to look really energetic in these fights, and there's a certain amount of tempo that the Lucio pick gives them that allows them to have that aggression as well as just the raw CC that ETC is providing. So great coordination there as a team. That's something they will have really worked on in practice, is moving together in that kind of aggression. And that's, it's not an easy thing to do when you're threatened by a Samuro on the backline.
No, exactly. But the red team, meanwhile, gets the pay in top there. Fiziv obviously picks up those gems that Mirai dropped on the floor and walks top and gets the pay in.
Yeah, and of course in this time, Mirai's Joanna has respawned, so it's not that they're pushing with 4, they will be able to push with 5 with these web weavers.
So we have all the ults available apart from... Oh, would you hear Lazy popping Wrath here as Mirai goes in, gets the best shield out, break it down, comes out by Lucio. Is it enough to save the Durance of Fate coming out as well? But Fiziv goes in and gets the kill onto the Mephisto.
Just relentless damage coming out from Tracer, 26k so far. Oh, and Samuro is picked up in response in the bot lane by Lazy and Page Biscuit. So 1 for 1, and they will be able to get some clear with the help of that Exterminator as Reina rotates top and will cut through that web weaver pretty swiftly.
Yeah, and we see not a single... Yeah, they lost all the wall top, but they didn't lose anything else in mid lane or bot lane. But the red team does have a second pay in, and they are all hovering around bot lane, and they want to get that immediate second pay in. Lazy needs to be careful here. Mirai doesn't have that best shield available though, gets a slow Lazy spinning to win. Spin to win, gets the bomb on, and oh, it's just enough, and Lazy falls on that Sonya.
And Jaina got the ice block stacked now based on that damage there. So Jaina will have a lot more potential to survive those hard engages from ETC and Lucio. So watch out for that as the blue team secures their web weavers, but with no Sonya, they might find it a little bit hard to push.
Yeah, they may have to commit 4 to 1 lane perhaps instead of sort of doing the usual sort of split. But we'll see what they decide to do. They are hovering 3 bot lane and opting to leave Mephisto mid just to pick away. Mephisto does need to be careful though, because Tracer and Mirai obviously hovering in that push, just anchoring.
Yeah, I think Mephisto was right to rotate bottom, which he is now doing, because he was not ever going to be able to get the soak in the mid lane, which is the only reason he would be there. So better to get some extra value in the push in the bot, and that's exactly what Insanidi's doing. And the fort has been secured, and the web weaver is still healthy, but they won't be able to push any harder, I think.
No, whether they want to try and secure mid fort now. I think maybe the fact they were respecting it so much, I think you could have held on to Hyperion and then burnt Hyperion just to secure mid fort now. But obviously at the time you don't think about this, so it's always in hindsight, isn't it? Obviously we get to view this with the benefit of hindsight, as it were, and objectively.
Yeah, we have global vision, and that's quite an advantage in this game, it turns out. Tracer, yeah, so Tracer did not take the untouchable at level 13, went for jumper instead, so gives the shield on the blink when she wants to.
Oh, Durance of Fate coming out there, but Fiziv immediately recalling it just to negate that route so he can blink to safety.
Joanna steps up, wants to create a bit of space here, but look how zoned Eren is by the Sonya. Mouth comes out with a Tranquility, wants to top Jaina back up to help. And that means they might be looking for a counter engage, because their R has been popped, as you point out. Are they going to pop the others to go with it? It looks like they are not. So no Tranquility available for Silent Suspended, but sweet.
No, and there is 92 gems on the side of Silent Suspended Sweet. Rogue goes in deep here, trying to get some damage out onto Page Biscuit. Water Elemental being popped. Lazy pops Wrath though, looking for a flank here onto the Jaina, putting out some damage onto the Jaina here. Fiziv meanwhile going onto time, but it does have that 25 armor though. Eren falling extremely low from Lazy though.
Yeah, I mean, there was
Lazy goes in, gets the mosh pit.
Yeah, it does catch onto one member. Joanna's dancing and dancing, but I don't think she's going to die. Puts the Iron Skin at the end of the mosh pit, so she'll just be able to walk away here. But in comes the Mephisto damage, tears Jaina down to 100 HP. Lucio's got the speed, goes in, wants to play the role of Tracer, but Transparent can't go too deep because the Blessed Shield was still available. Jaina gets picked though eventually. ETC slides in, catches onto Mouth. It's going to be 2. Are they going to get a third? No, they will not. They will sit back and look at their options. Where are they going to go, Aviator?
They want to secure mid fort, definitely. Just gives you that extra vision. All 4 of you good in mid. Can they do boss? 20 seconds on both dead timers, or are they just going to secure the pay in and look to capitalise on their advantage here and push top lane?
I think
Depends on what they want to decide to do.
with Exterminator, they should be able to get that boss fairly swiftly. So
And level 16 as well was in the side for them. So I think boss could have been the call, but perhaps they just want to play it a little bit safe. Same as we saw in game 1 from the other team. They just want to play it a little bit more safe and opt for. Yeah, I think boss was the call.
It looks like Consolidate is the name of the game here from Band of Brewers. They said, look, we've got an advantage. Let's just stack our chips. We don't need to do anything more for now, and we can push with this Web Weavers and the Bruiser camp. They've already taken the mid fort, so there's a chance to threaten keep. They will get the top fort as well. So playing cautiously but decisively here from Band of Brewers. Level 16 talents have been picked up as well. Lucio going for up the frequency, standard it with the auto attack talents that he's taken at 13 and 1 as well. So always going to basically you get amp it up a ridiculous amount of the time. Not going for the kind of more burst focus, I suppose, Rejuvenescentia, as they push mid with their Bruiser camp, but out comes the Blizzard.
This is going to be a test for the wave clear on the side of Salzburg Sweet. Hyperion being used as well, just a siege. Rogue looking for a flank on that Samuro. Not sure what you can quite do. They want to try and fight behind this, but I'm not sure how much value they can get. Top lane is being cleared up by the Tracer. It does take the whole wall though. They get this wall. They don't want to overstay though. That's the worst thing Band of Brewers can do here is overstay.
I love the knockback from ETC caused Tracer to miss her Pulse Bomb. Lovely play from Time Bullet there. So the Pulse Bomb went onto the deck and did not threaten any of the Brewers. So it's looking like a fairly nice lead so far for Band of Brewers. A whole level lead, 3 forts up. But what do they turn this into? The
issue is obviously they haven't lost a single fort, but they're 3 forts up and 2 keep walls up. But on the side of the red team, you can't cut them out. They've got a double pay into hand, but they need to be the aggressors here.
Yeah, the
so
red team
look for the fight.
Yeah, the red team can't be waiting too long because of the level 20. That's not terribly far away now for Band of Brewers. But they can't. But Band of Brewers can't, on the other hand, allow the hand in. In comes the Blessed Shield. Immediately melts the Lucio, who's gone down before his ult could be used. I think it might even have gone on short cooldown and got interrupted. And in comes the Gerent of Fate, only catches onto a Samuro illusion.
I thought it was not the broccoli.
Oh, I thought it was an illusion of Samuro.
Oh, maybe it was an illusion. Yeah, I was about to say I didn't know they could latch onto the broccoli. I was a bit surprised. But yeah, making it a Samuro clone, that's probably more sensible.
But Gerent of Hate's not a big cooldown. That'll be back up soon enough. It was a nice little cleanse there from Malf onto Fizziv. Fizziv's Tracer just trying to get some sustain going on there on the arena. Just threaten Page Biscuit a little bit. It's
Oh, that was a big mosh pit potentially there. It looked juicy, doesn't it, with those 3-man lining up. Hyperion being forced to pop. Does delay that turn in as well. Obviously, you can't pay whilst taking damage here. They do see Rogue clearing out the bot lane, so they knew that this was a 4v4.
But there's still 6 seconds till Lucio's alive, and then he's got to run all the way here, which I reckon could take 15 seconds or something. Gerent of Hate doesn't connect again. Insanity, gotta be careful. Joanna's got the Blessed Shield, but it misses. Mirai's not quite connected onto Insanity there. Now in comes Time Bullet with the Mosh Pit. Joanna's got unstoppable, but she can't interrupt because there's no Blessed Shield. And Jane has been absolutely deleted. The Pulse Bomb comes out onto Sonya, who spins to win. Successfully gets away. Now Lucio's going to use that speed to catch onto Joy K, who's been destroyed. You're the real hit Tracer here, Transparent. And Rogue trying to get value onto Insanity, but he goes down as well. It's 3 kills for nothing.
Yeah. So are they just want to secure this mid keep, don't they? They don't want to do boss, even though maybe they should go boss straight after this then perhaps. But opting not to go for the boss while you've got Reyna and Sonya as well kind of seems a little bit. Yeah, especially this keep is low top as well already.
Yeah,
so
I was thinking the same thing. It's a fairly tender looking keep at the top lane. Level 20s are in as well, and they would have been in fairly soon after doing the boss anyway with the trickle. But they're going for the mid keep. They've got a Bruiser camp. I don't think they're going to end directly mid, but now they're going towards that boss to consolidate. Having secured the mid keep, a reasonable call there from Transparent's Band of Brewers.
Yeah, Lazy already started the boss as well, so they are going to shred this boss. That's a really nice call, actually. Maximizing their advantage, making sure instead of just getting the 1 keep and going boss instantly, they take away the camp as well. But Johanna, obviously, going to try and look to pay in. And just try and negate some of that push, perhaps. But she needs to do it quick, though. Yeah, this call is decided not to do it instead, and they're going to try and defend this as 5. 20 on the side of Band of Brewers as well. They want to push this pretty hard. Are we going to see Hyperion being used early? We're going to try to save it for a core push, do you think?
I think they're going to go for the core. I think that's their plan here on the side of Banner Brewers. In comes the Blessed Shield onto Page Biscuit. Lucio's got the sound barrier. He's not worried about wasting the cooldown because he's got Boston over at 20. It has the shorter cooldown on only 30 seconds, and that'll be back up. The Duke of Wellington getting taken out by Lazy here, and the boss is
Still healthy, and they've still got Wrath, and 20 is here. They're going for the core. Now, this could be climbable. They do have Hyperion available. Hyperion being popped out. It's going to put some damage onto that core. The red team just trying to zone out the blue team here. Core mechanics slowing. Lazy going in. Just attacking that core. Core falling down to 70%. Is this doable? Johanna going in. Trying to disrupt it. 40% on the core. Page Biscuit looks like she's going to fall. The mosh pit though coming out onto 5 people. And that's going to be GG going over to Band of Brewers.
Incredible stuff from Banner Brewers there. I love the aggression of that Lucio comp. It just it really felt like they were in control of the game in terms of the tempo, and they were just running at them. And yes, there were great counter kills there from Silent Suspended but Sweet. 5 kills for Silent Suspended but Sweet, and 8 for the opposition. So definitely close in terms of kills. But like I say, it felt like the pace was set on the terms of Band of Brewers.
I think also, if you look at the kill count, 8 kills to 5. The 5 kills felt like single pick-off kills for Silent Suspended but Sweet. It was never sort of a steamroll of kills. It was always like one pick-off with the Tracer and the chain of damage on top. It was never sort of 1 to 2 and then they could snowball it. Whereas on the side of Band of Brewers, they'd always secure that 1 or 2 kills and then be able just to turn it into a real advantage. And they really capitalized on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's one of the advantages, I suppose, of Lucio is if you get a kill, the enemy can never run away from you. So you can snowball a fight pretty quickly if you start getting a couple of kills. I mean, it felt like the Jaina was the target in every fight, and she has died 3 times.
I mean, that's Sonya though. What do they have for Sonya? After Blessed Shield is used, what kind of peel do you have for that Sonya?
Yeah, and that's one of the difficulties with Joanna as a tank, I think, is yes, she's kind of indestructible herself, but she can't always peel for that kind of aggressive Sonya or Greymane who can stick to you relentlessly. And Sonya just kept going, and sometimes it was 1v3, and then you're starting to stretch the fights. Tracer and Samuro diving and maybe getting kills onto Reyna or Mephisto, but with Sonya and Lucio just going to town, it looked like a lovely execution there from Band of Brewers.
Yeah, I really like their team comp. And we're going to go to everybody's favourite map for the deciding game here in this best of 3. And it's going to be Infernal Shrines.
Infernal Shrines. That's going to be juicy, fairly standard stuff. Nothing. I think it's the universal lounge map that every team has to know how to play because it will come up in every game, every match.
Yeah, I think it's also the most commonly played map across every single division. Is that correct?
I think last season there might have been Volskaya ahead in some divisions, but
Division 1 Volskaya was ahead. You're right.
But let's say Infernal Shrines overall was the most popular, and definitely very popular map in all the divisions. So nothing too surprising to see it here. I mean, what is the feeling for these teams? Like, who's got the initiative now? Because Band of Brewers, they lost game 1, but they came out fighting in game 2, and they certainly had a lot of momentum there. Do you think Silent Suspended but Sweet will be feeling a lot under pressure now?
I think so, right? I think when you're 1-0 up, you feel really good, don't you? You get confident. You feel it was a good win for them as well. They executed their composition extremely well. So I think now pressure's back on them. But also, you don't want to relax now on the side of Band of Brewers. They're going to have to keep playing their comp. But I wonder whether we'll see a Mephisto ban. I think Mephisto is quite impactful. But also, my boy Jimmy Rayner is 2-0 here in the series. So whether it's King Jimmy, and they do have first pick on the side of Silent Suspended but Sweet, so they may opt for a Bloodlust comp.
Yeah, I think somebody's got to have an answer to Bloodlust here. The thing is, The Bloodlust is such a threat. They've either got to have an answer, or, like I say, just ban the Rhaegar. I mean, I think you could just reasonably just ban the Rhaegar in the first round.
That's what I tend to do, if I'm honest. But they keep banning Greymane, which I'm not quite sure why. I think if you ban the Rhaegar, I think Greymane's less of a concern for me personally. Anyway, I feel like Greymane plus Bloodlust is an issue. I think Greymane by himself is like, yes, he's a very good hero, but not overly impactful in that sense.
So you think they should just ban the Rhaegar and not worry about the Greymane? I mean, let's say that there are probably counters you can pick to Greymane instead of just banning him, whereas the Bloodlust is harder to deal with. There are still, responses you can take, but they are maybe more of a stretch to your draft. I don't know. I think so far these teams have shown a lot of wisdom in their draft, so I'm loath to question their judgment, but it should be a very interesting set of calls.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to Game 3. I'm sure chat is looking forward to Game 3, and I'm sure you're looking forward to Game 3 as well, Karis. So we're just waiting for both teams to get ready here, and then we'll shortly be jumping into this final final map on this best of 3 decider.
Yes, we're all eager to get the show on the road. And don't forget, there's more Heroes Lounge casts on this evening. Not on this channel, but on a multitude of channels, and you can find all the info about that on heroeslounge.gg/calendar, or looking on our Discord. If you're not in our Discord, why not?
Yeah, / Discord will take you to that Discord. And if you're new to the channel or you haven't seen this before, this is Heroes Lounge Season 12 EU. We're casting a Division 2 match. This is an amateur Heroes of the Storm competition organised by volunteers. And yeah, it's just a great place to play Heroes of the Storm as it's supposed to be, not with Storm League Papaganus, but obviously with coordinated teammates. Some people say anyway. But it looks like both teams are ready, so we're jumping into Infernal Shrines.
Infernal Shrines. In we go to track number 3 and this best of 3 series. So let's take a look at what we might get. But in the meantime, while we wait for the first bands to come in, we will get betting on the road, because you all love to bet your points on who you think will win game number 3 and indeed this Division 2 series overall. ! Bet A and a number of points if you think Band of Brewers will secure the victory, and ! Bet B and a number of points if you think it's going to be silenced, suspended, but sweet, as Deathwing gets first banned by silenced, suspended, but sweet. So they're obviously worried about his potential to fight on those shrines with that huge AoE damage, and his potential as a pseudo global. Well, just a global, not really pseudo anything about it. So, how will Band of Brewers respond? Well, we've talked about the possibility of the Greymane ban, and there is that Greymane ban again. Aviator, what do you think of that Greymane ban?
Yeah, I mentioned it pre-draft, right? I think banning out the Greymane itself, normally either you want to bait a Deathwing ban, or you want to go something extremely tanky, maybe like a Diablo, just to ban out that bullet. But maybe obviously they just don't like playing against Greymane. Maybe they just don't have an answer for the Wolf chomping at the bit.
Yeah,
it's a bit unusual. It's just a bit unusual to me, that's all. Unless there's a Greymane OTP on the other side, perhaps.
Can I just say, does that Anna ban mean we're going to see an Alex Straza coming out from Joy K?
I would love an Alex. I think she got neglected recently. I think she's not quite the dragon that she used to be. But on this map in particular, obviously with that dragon as well and that contest, but they are sticking with the Tassadar ban. Banning it seemed to work well for them game 2. Okay, I don't think you could even click that quick enough, Erin. So calm down. I think we see an insta-lock Zul coming out here.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I don't have the Division 2 knowledge that these teams have, but the threat of Zul on Infernal Shrines is a big one to me. I think you've got a real chance that Zul can soak an incredible amount and be a threat on those team fights, on those tightly packed shrines, particularly towards the bottom and maybe in the mid as well.
Yes, I think You don't. You're probably not going to be a Zul solo lane, right? You tend to see Zul more 4-man nowadays than off lane because he kind of gets cooked. But we have a DC, and of course, it's Fizz. Anyone who knows Fizz knows that he's a bit notorious for disconnects.
Yeah. So we're just going to wait for some technical issues from Fizz. So you can still get your bets in, and we can't change the time, so you've still only got 3 minutes left to get those bets.
Is there no way
back
to
in.
stop the competition then restart it after, or?
We could cancel all the bets, can we? Should we do
Because
that?
I mean, I think it's going to be about
Okay,
3
we're going to
minutes before
cancel all the
Fizz is even
bets.
back.
We're going to cancel all the bets. Right, all your bets have been refunded. That contest has been cancelled. We're going to have another betting going on when the draft restarts for real. There have been some technical issues going on in the draft. So
it's always a Fizz. It's just always a Fizz thing.
is it Alex Straza? That's what we were getting at. So the Zul picked up. We know that's going to be a problem. And you were just saying, Aviator, that's probably going to be in the 4. That is all.
Well, it's potentially right, but the good thing is if you pick it up early, which obviously you should, because normally it gets banned, you can kind of flex it. Because typically you want normally people pick Sonya into Zul, I think, in the offlane in the 1v1 scenario, because you can spin to win out of the root, and you tend to just stomp on Zul in the offlane. So, but obviously Infernal Shrines, does offlane really matter? Controversial perhaps to the offlane players in chat, but offlane doesn't really, it's not as important as Dragonshire or Braxis, where you need that point control, you need to really dominate your solo lane. So, and Zul 4-man with a mage as well on top, that bone prison is a free sort of engage for them as well.
Yeah. So then the question is, do you have to take a cleanse to respond to that? And then if you do, can the Zul just keep rooting because the Zul root is shorter cooldown than every cleanse apart from high 5?
Yeah. Oh god. You and your weird picks.
No, excuse me. I specifically said you can't go high 5 in the previous.
Oh, okay, sorry. I thought it was
I'm not advocating.
I thought this was another, sort of emerald win type of comment where you're just blasphemy in chat. But no, I think we saw Jimmy and ETC being picked up on the left side for Band Brewers. So it does mean Bloodlust is open, and Zul with Bloodlust, to me, sounds a bit scary.
Yes,
that actually sounds concerning.
He would. So I didn't see. So what were the 2 picks picked up by Band of Brewers there? Was it Reina and
ETC, the same
so not
as
Joanna.
Game 1, not Johanna.
Okay, so they don't have a blind, so there's a good chance that Zul will go auto attack here potentially. And just
is that full W? Is that the curse strikes where he just ends up slashing away at ridiculously speed if he's left?
And if he's got Bloodlust to keep running at them and keep doing it, and give himself heal on it, as well as the self heal that he's already got, then you need some really hard lockdown to stop him getting value out of that. Yes, you got the ETC, but if that ETC is not not able to stun the Zul for whatever reason, maybe he's used it on somebody else, maybe another dive hero that's been picked up by Silence Suspended But Sweet, who keep picking up dive heroes, then there's going to be a problem for them.
Is this though, Karis? You mentioned Artanis in game number 1 as a potential counter to Bloodlust. No, but is this an Artanis pickup? It's not going to be, is it? Because Artanis isn't really a hero. Let's be honest. But
I think he's definitely a hero. I think he's got.
Chat. Let's ask chat. Okay. That's what we're waiting for.
Why don't we do a voting?
A poll.
I don't know if I can do polls.
Is Artanis a hero? Because that's okay. the groundbreaking news that we need to know.
Exclamation mark bet A and a number of points to bet B. No, we're not doing that. I don't know how to run a poll, so we're not going to run a poll. But if we were, it would say, is Artanis a hero? So, but I doubt they will do that. One thing I was going to say in response to the Bloodlust, there is an option which maybe is more in line with what Van der Brewers play, which is Lucio. Lucio is an answer to Bloodlust because you can just run away. And that's, one of the issues with Bloodlust is there's no way to run away from it usually. Well, with Lucio, you can make your whole team run away at frightening speeds. So there could be just you hear the Bloodlust go off, bang, amp up the speed, get out of there. The problem is, of course, if you've got some lockdown to go with that Bloodlust, then people are going to die. That's the challenge for that response.
Okay, so I'm not allowed to post a link in the chat, unfortunately. I just tried posting a straw poll to to have the chat voting, but unfortunately I'm not allowed.
Okay, I can post it. Hang on.
Okay, there we are. I pasted it in party chat. So if you could kindly post that in the chat, and we'll have our answers. Is Artanis a hero?
Okay, so you can vote on whether you think Artanis is a hero, which I have to say this poll was Aviator's idea and not mine. And he's put swearing in it for maximum complications.
I may have forgotten. I apologise for any young viewers.
But anyway, it says, is Artanis not a hero? And you can respond to that however you feel appropriate.
He's back in Discord. So Fizz is almost here, ladies and gentlemen. That's all we're waiting for now is Fizzive.
So, where were we up to in the draft? We saw the Zool pickup. We saw the ETC and Reina pick.
Yeah. And then I think it was the DC then. But now this gives both teams. This is a 3-2-3 moment, right? Both teams get a lot of time to decide.
So, talk to me about this Alex Straza. Is that what the Ana ban was for? Is there going to be, or is it for Zool to just get insane self-sustain from his auto attacks?
I don't know.
We could see an Alex Straza pickup for Shrines.
Yeah, maybe. But I'm also quite surprised, actually. We mentioned the ETC pickup. I'm surprised we didn't see the Johanna insta-lock, actually, because into Zool, you kind of want a self-cleanse on yourself, because Zool can just trap the tank, and then that damage is going to put out on top. But it looks like both teams are ready, and it's game number 3 on Infernal Shrines.
Now, I wonder what this first pick will be. Do you think it could be Zool, Aviator?
I wonder if we're going to see a Greymane ban, a Tassadar ban.
I think we could well see a Greymane and Tassadar ban, and a Deathwing and Ana ban from the red team. That's just my hunch, though. That's just my hunch. But if I'm right, then give me money. Why are they taking their time over the ban? It's already been decided.
It's added suspense, Karis, okay? Gosh, there we go. It's a Deathwing ban coming out. Who would have thought it? Now, banning Deathwing. What don't you want to play against? And it's going to be the Greymane. What's next, Karis?
There's the Ana ban, and then it's going to be the Tassadar
So are we going to see an Alex Strasser?
I think we could see an Alex Straza. It's funny you've asked that, Aviator, because I think there could be an Alex Straza here on Infernal Shrines. There's a Zool first pick, very much slammed by Erin, but not as fast as she did the first time, as ETC and Reina are picked in response.
Wow, those are some quick decision picks there coming out from both teams.
There's a lot of talk about cringe in the chat that I don't necessarily understand. There's the Rhaegar, so is going for the Bloodlust, not for the Alex Straza. Not going for the Alex Straza, but instead going for the Rhaegar Bloodlust, probably almost certainly the Bloodlust, with potentially the auto attack Zool, and Joanna gets
way too funny
up to go with it.
Yeah, so we do see Bloodlust. So it is going to be that perhaps Curse Strike / Zool coming out here with the Bloodlust as well, and they do ban the Zeratul, the Respect ban coming out on Rogue.
Yeah. And
now they could go extremely toxic and go Abatha here as well, which I would want to alt F4 at that point.
I mean, that's a lot of eggs in one basket, but
it is.
I mean, so you would still, you would have if you can melee people, you'd have a lot of value. But if you're ever zoned out of melee, for example, by a large ball-shaped hero, then you might find it difficult to get work done. As Sonya is picked up again by Lazy. If it isn't broken, don't fix it. They've gone for the same draft so far, identically.
Yeah,
And they could go
we do
Mephisto
see-
again, and it'd be fine. I mean, just to round off the draft the same way as they did in game number 2. Sorry.
Yeah, they're going like, well, it worked for us game 2. Let's keep going. There's no change. Are we going to see Mephisto last pick then?
I think.
But there's Fiziv on Medivh.
Medivh does change the dynamic a bit. Now, are they going to adjust their mage pickup in response to that? I mean, Mephisto's, he's got some potential to have a bit of sustain, but maybe they might go for just a slower kind of fight. No, they've gone for the Mephisto again. Fair enough.
It worked well. It worked well game 2. Why change something that's not broken?
Yeah, and Thrall going on.
Also,
on Thrall.
We forgot to put a bet on, so
We're
gonna
that. We're
quickly.
gonna get that on momentarily. That should be up now, and it will last 4 minutes. So get your bets on in the next 4 minutes. Starting.
I actually really like the Medivh pickup with the Zul because it means you can get that portal engage in as well as the protected on top when they're trying to focus Zul, which health did get nerfed. So I think on draft, I really like Team B here for me. What about you, Mr. Karras?
I also like the B team here. I think that the Lucio worked really well for Band of Brewers in game number 1 because you had a mouth. 2. Sorry, in game number 2. Sorry, yeah, in the last game, because you had a mouth who was struggling to burst heal the Jaina who was getting focused, and you had no way to run away from the Lucio once you started losing a fight. Here, they've got a Medivh to run away and to protect anybody who's under too much pressure from that Sonya as we go into game number 3, the deciding game in this best of 3 series. And in blue, on the left, we have Band of Brewers with Time Bullet on ETC, Insanity on Mephisto, Lazy on Sonya, Page Biscuit on Arena, and Transparent on Lucio.
And for Science Been a Bit Sweet, for the final time this evening, it's Johanna played by Mirai, Zul played by Erin, Rhaegar by Joy K, Thrall played by Rogue, and Medivh by Fiziv.
Medivh Fiziv, Fiz is known for his Medivh. It is feared around the world. Or
it does get,
in Heroes.
At least in EU Master, I guess. I mean, it does get banned quite a bit against him.
Exactly, and so definitely the Band Brewers have to be so careful about the plays he can make with that. Fairly similar talents this game from what we saw last game, and why would they change on the side of Band of Brewers?
Also, I just thought of something. What they can do is Mephisto teleports it in. They put the Zul Bone Prism on him, and when he goes back, they can portal on top of him and engage that way as well. That could be a really nice sort of engage then on top of that Mephisto.
Yeah, and then of course Lucio won't have a cleanse for that Zul route unless he goes for high 5.
If he goes high 5, I will high 5 Transparent for that. That would be a very good pick. As we see the Bone Prism coming out here, but there's no portal follow-up protector coming out onto Johanna. She's still full health there. And Transparent just being that little annoying mosquito. But we do see the portals giving that advantage rotation straight away for them. And obviously it is Thrall in the off lane. Thrall is sort of holding his own against the Sonya at the moment though.
Yeah, fairly neck and neck in the solo lane so far. Nothing too much of an issue for either player. And Rogue's just trying to threaten Lazy on the Sonya, because if Sonya can't spin to win, then she doesn't have any self-sustain, unlike Thrall, who can get his sustain from range, as Trans and Page continue to soak the bot lane, and the rotation has been split up on the side of Band of Brewers. They're going to keep
this is a bit of a yikes at the moment. The Band of Brewers are split from this, but so are Science Been a Bit Sweet, and there is going to be a 4-man rotation down to this bot camp, and they are going to see an early fight as Janna goes in here. Does pop that Iron Skin quite early actually. Blue team, so one opposite this camp, Johanna walks back onto the point, but doesn't get it in time. They decide to back out.
Slightly surprised they didn't at least skirmish for a bit longer, get Medivh some free stacks on that kind of fight. Okay, Medivh's going to get his stacks easily enough here in the lane, running at 8 stacks so far on Medivh. But yeah, maybe they could have gone for something a bit more aggressive, but no reason to venture anything too hard. And they can just wait for those setups later on in the shrine fights as you were talking about.
And it is Grim Scythe on Zul, so it is potentially going to be that W build Zul, which is just that slash 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 kind of approach.
To me, this is Bloodlust all over. I think they...
Oh, I mean, if you go Ancestral here, I think you're inting. I think this year, I think you kind of have to go Bloodlust. I'm surprised we didn't see Green Thrall. I really like Green Thrall at the moment at level 1. I think the Rolling Thunder, I think it's called. I think it's really
with the percent damage as well, might have hurt Sonya a lot in the lane. And given just a touch extra sustain to Thrall, he doesn't... I mean, he's doing fine as it is. Rogue's going to be very happy with that. Of course, he's almost stacked his Echo of the Elements already. And that will give him juicy Frostwolf resilience in the fights once he has 2 Chain Lightnings. So the fight on the first shrine is hotting up. Sonya just going to start getting those shrine minions, 9 to 6 so far on those, as Insanity goes in, gets a bit of poke with his shade and stays fairly far back with it, possibly afraid exactly of the combo that you were talking about.
Yeah, and there we see the teleport coming out here with that Raven familiar. Level 4, so using the portal does give you a Raven, but they may be opting to give this, actually.
Yeah, I think since the fort changes, we've seen a lot of teams not care as much about getting the first Punisher here on Infernal Shrines, because it's so hard to push with it that you don't get a huge value, and then particularly when it's not a frozen Punisher, which this one is not.
Just going to say, I think they usually, yeah, absolutely. If it's a frozen Punisher, you usually see a lot more teams trying to fight over. But then we see the Mephisto that I pointed out in game number 2. When you try and dive in with that objective, you do some damage to the heroes. If the towers aren't down, you're going to take a lot of damage from that minus armor.
Yeah, and so he has to sit back. And yeah, that Punisher's done what? Maybe 3/4 of a tower? Whereas the threat from, the threat of Zul pushing and soaking could have been sizable. But they did not push too hard with Azul anyway. And actually the blue team did sensibly push opposite their Punisher and go and get themselves a tower or 2 down the bot lane. Level 7s are in.
Yeah, level 7. Now this is where Thrall gets that Ancestral Wrath, but there's about a half level lead at the moment for, and we do see 8 paws coming out here by the blue team.
So we will go back to looking at our beautiful faces. So yeah, level 7 talents.
For yourself. Wait, no, that's the wrong thing to say to that. Never mind. But level 7's coming out. We do see Echo Pedal on the ETC, so usually you do tend to see the, what's it called? The one with
Wizard.
That's the one, yeah.
Pinball Wizard's better for that burst, but I think against the Medivh he's not trying for burst. He's just thinking, let's try and clear the shrines in a timely manner. And I mean, personally, I'm a big fan of Hammer On, and I think that gives you a bit more reliable single target.
I mean, we all know you believe in the AATC, though, Gareth.
I believe in many things. No, but even more normal people who don't believe in AATC,
more normal people
do believe in the Hammer On at level 7. But so I think nothing too surprising so far in the talents picked up. So Ancestral Wrath, as you mentioned, the Cleanse from Rhaegar, the W talent again for Zul at the level 7, going more for that auto attack. And I think we are ready to go back into the game. So it is half a level lead though so far for Band of Brewers. Again, looking confident here in game number 3, as they did indeed in game number 2. Time Bullet wants to invade though. Medivh is flying in the sky, giving the vision, has the damage coming out onto ETC. Portals himself to safety, Medivh, although he has been slid a little bit, takes minor damage, but will stay alive just fine. And that is a nice camp going over to Band of Brewers.
Yeah, I think the Silence Band Suite are happy to forego these early skirmishes, because at level 10, They are really going to come online here. And at level 10 is their comp, right? Level 10 is their win condition, essentially, to them. So they just want to play it slow, play it safe, get level 10. You saw the first objective. They looked to see if they could get anything. They couldn't, so they backed out, opted for the soak. So I really think they're waiting for that level 10. But, brilliant slide here coming out from the ETC. Johanna popping at that unstoppable, and the protected immediately coming out here by Fiziv on the Medivh. But they do lose that well bot lane, and that is where the next shrine is going to be.
So level 10s are Mosh Pit for ETC. We have the Sound Barrier for Lucio, as let's say we probably were expecting. Well, what else were we saying? So yeah, the Durance of Hate, of course, again from Mephisto, and the Hyperion from Reyna, and the Wrath from Sonya. Level 10s now landing though for Silence Suspended but Sweet with the Leyline Seal, the Earthquake, the Bloodlust, the Poison Nova, and the Blessed Shield. So
I think the common picks really coming out here as we expected. I do like Earthquake with Poison Nova as well, but they are going to have that Break It Down just to try and negate some of that instant damage. Lucio into Bloodlust isn't awful, but it depends on how quick they're going to shred through the sound barrier.
Well, like I was saying, I think the answer might be you run away from the Bloodlust, and I think if we see Bloodlust and there's no lockdown on anyone, Lucio is just going to say, get out of there, just get out of there, and turn on the speed, get out of there. And I think this might be a good answer to Bloodlust here from Lucio.
Also, for those wondering if Altanis is a hero, apparently he is a hero, which makes me sad.
Oh, look at this invade though, but the Durance completely stops them coming in, and that's a huge amount of damage that came out from Mephisto. Well played by Insanity. Sonya starts to chase, but with the portals they can escape safely, and of course Medivh can drop those portals in from the skies. He's the only joiner I know of who will do...
Oh, Earthquake being popped out here though. Rogue in an island. They do pop that Bloodlust. ETC gets rooted, and this kill is done onto Thrall. Poison Nova coming out. You can see the damage already coming out. They don't have that Break It Down sound barrier from Lucio. So Lucio just trying to heal up his blue team here, and that's a lot of cooldowns popped on both teams. But Mosh Pit is still available, and so is the Leyline.
Yeah, and huge...
Actually, I think Leyline and Johanna are the only Mosh interrupts, so maybe that's why Medivh is holding on to it.
Oh, I mean, yeah. So they have a Joanna, of course, but I mean, apart from that, yeah, it's just the Leyline is the only option. So maybe he will have that as a response. Still, I like the kill that Band of Brewers got there, and started well with that great Durance from Insanity, who got a lot of damage before the fight even started onto the enemy team. Time bullet zone sensibly here. And
now we see level 13 in place, so a full level lead, and the Punisher, Mr. Mortar Punisher. So Mortar Punisher used to be probably the weakest Punisher. They used to hate when it was one of those, but now this is probably the hardest scaling Punisher, I think, on this map. It is only 9 minutes into the game, but they are already sieging on this bot keep. So they are going to get the wall. Probably nothing more. You'd expect it to be a bit surprised if the blue team get anything else other than this wall. And yeah, they're happy with that, and they're willing to retreat and look to secure the mid fort.
Obviously, they might go for a gank on Eren, who thinks she's safe in her fort, but is she though? In comes the Transparent with the slow. ETC has the slide available, but so far not choosing to use it.
No, he used it, he missed.
Oh, okay. And I obviously
he did miss it. Also coming out though, Earthquake coming out, and Lucio deleted. Mosh Pit coming back onto 3 though, but Mirai does pop the condemn, and it's interrupted. Durance coming out on top of it. The red team, one more here. Bloodlust just wearing off now. Time bullet falling extremely low. And Support being popped by Johanna, and ETC goes down.
Lovely engage there from the Silence Suspended but Sweet. And that's the portal value and the Earthquake value. And the thing is, when I talked about using the Lucio speed to run away from the Bloodlust, if you're in an Earthquake as well, and there's portals as well, it probably isn't actually an answer. And so that's one way.
Oh, look at this by Medivh. I really like this. I didn't know you could do that with the little birdie. You can just hover over the portal, and it hover over the well, and it provides vision on it instead of using abilities.
Yeah.
That's really nice. So I'd never really play with a Medivh because you don't really see it that much in solo queue.
Yeah, well, I think in solo queue it's an impossibly hard hero to get to work because people don't, he's very much a team focused hero, and if your team aren't making good use of your abilities, then
But those 2 quick kills that we saw in the mid lane for Silence Benefit Suite have now netted them even in experience. They were a full level behind and look to be sort of chasing their tails here, but now they're only about a quarter of a level behind. We do see the blue team trying to look for a chase here, but they're willing to forego and just opt to soak, because we do see Lazy double soaking on that Sonya.
Yep, and I think both teams are going to play. Both teams are going to
Lazy
play.
deciding they're all missing, thinking, no, I'm not staying this far out of my lane. I'm going to walk back to my fort. Thank you very much.
Good map awareness there from Sonya to sit back. Yeah, so both teams playing fairly cautiously so far. It's 2 kills to 1, so really not a lot of kills in the game at 11 minutes and 30 in, as level 16s just arrive for Band of Brewers.
Yeah, this is where Jimmy is going to get paint them red for that extra self-sustain. And Mephisto does get that bonus damage now on static field on his W. Lucio again opting for up the frequency, so wants that cooldown of amp it up. And we do see Sonya with the shield, there's a steal. ETC holding on to his 16 though.
Yeah, I think he's... I don't know what he's doing. He could be, he could have been debating imposing presence just to deal with the Zul auto attacks. But still going for Showstopper as he did in last game to give himself a bit more survivability, because when you're an ETC and you're sliding in, every time you're nervous because it's so easy to get blown up.
So this is it. This is going to be the fight. It's level 16 v 16, 2 kills to 1, pretty even in the game at the moment. And this is the first frozen Punisher we've seen, so this is going to be a contested Punisher.
The chat pointing out that Temporal Flux has been plucked up at 16 by Medivh. Fizz loves that talent because you will get Leyline Seal on what the chat are calling basic ability cooldown. Leyline Seal up basically all the time now, whenever Fizz wants to deploy it.
Yeah, Mirai taking a bit of poke though on that Johanna. Rhaegar pops the heal. No team willing to pop the ults yet. Lazy pops that Wrath on the Sonya though, spinning to winning on the Shrine. Pretty even in Shrine Guardians at the moment, 23 v 15. Bloodlust still available here. They're grouping up. Bloodlust being popped here. Earthquake coming out on top of it. ETC goes in, lands a slide in the backline, but Lucio doesn't have time to break it down and is deleted. I think it was actually interrupted there by the Blessed Shield from Johanna.
Yeah, and that means he still does have it if he wants to save Time Bullet, which he might try to do.
He died.
Oh, he died, so he's not going to be able to save Time Bullet. As Time Bullet goes in, look, start thinking about getting out of here.
Yeah, absolutely. Mephisto goes in. But the blue team, they're not wanting to go for this. They knock them back from the portal. There's going to be a second knockback from ETC there on top of it. Mirai falling extremely low. Page Biscuit auto-attacking, right-clicking that Mirai. No! They get the Punisher though. On the Endurance of Hate coming out. Lazy taking a lot of damage from the Ancestral Wrath. They're 2 in the bush. Kill him! Kill him! Kill them all! The Protected coming out here. Eddie taking a bit of damage.
Perfectly balanced here from Fizz, and he's just...
Oh, and they get the kill on Thrall. They want more here. It's Fizziv going through portal plays, coming out. And he decides to go back into Raven and fly away.
He will
fly like a bird.
He will fly to safety easily enough for him. Yeah, and Fizz perfectly balanced there, that last fight, going in and out, and just baiting the enemy into trying to kill him, and ultimately securing that kill on Mephisto, who's dead for a long time, so they can clear that Punisher very safely on the side of Silencers, but sweet.
That was a really well played team fight there by Band of Brewers, because the Lucio got sort of blown up instantly, right, with that Blessed Shield and the damage coming out on top of it. But the blue team held their nerve and they turned it around, which is really, really well played by them.
There's a lot of copy pasta in the Twitch chat, which I'm definitely not going to read because I don't have all day, but the crucial thing here is Silence Suspended but Sweet have slightly overtaken on XP. Now, the 3-fort advantage should give more continuous XP to Band of Brewers, but of course it makes it easier to clear waves for Silence Suspended but Sweet. So, at the moment, Triple S taking a lead in the XP, and it's going to be tough for BOB to catch up in the soak. But look at this Lucio rotation speed. They're trying to catch onto Thrall. The dogs missed. Hasn't quite connected onto ETC, but the Earthquake used, trying to slow him down. And then he sidestepped us the slide. Lovely from Rogue, but they did bait that Earthquake.
Yeah, and that is a a very long cooldown, 100 seconds. But the next shrine will actually be up in time for that. So they may have used the cooldown, but it makes sure that he lives and the blue team doesn't get any more advantage than that. So we mentioned earlier, Band of Brewers are a full level ahead of Silent Suspended But Sweet, and now we look at this, and Silent Suspended But Sweet are actually about almost a level ahead, actually.
I would say half, but it might depend on the exact soaking of the waves just now. But yeah, so they've definitely had a good recovery for Silent Suspended But Sweet. The thing is, right now, Band of Brewers need to fight before Earthquake's back up, because we were talking about the Earthquake combined with the Bloodlust is the reason they can't escape from it. If they fight now while Bloodlust is down, they can get something. And also, it means it would be their fight before 20. Look at this, they're just a little bit afraid of some kind of invade here from Medivh. But I would think this is the time for BOB to fight.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the time where you want to be aggro. This is pre-20. And as you say, you're about 3/4 of a level down. The portal coming out. Oh, the portal just scaring them slightly. Oh, is that Eddie actually going in and just teleporting around? The red team playing extremely cautious around that level 20, and we're soon 20 going to be in sight for them, and there's going to be a completely different game. We're probably going to see them being extremely aggressive.
And with the help of Medivh, they may well be able to do just that, as Mirai steps up, trying to find them even in this kind of safe rotation here between their own forts. Still 3 forts for Band of Brewers though, and that's so huge in terms of giving them a position on the map to just sit back, to move around, because otherwise right now they would be stuck in their base if they didn't have those forts up front.
Yeah, so good thing by the blue team here. You see bot lane where they're not opting to clear the lane, they're just freezing it because they don't want to step out too far. That's the thing that so many people don't do. They think, oh, we've got to get that experience. They want to clear that wave. I know freezing it feels like it takes forever, or just passively soaking, but that's the right play, making sure you get 20 the safe way here. Still not quite 20 though, 20's in now for the blue team. ETC using knockback and sliding out here just for safety, but we just see 20's. ETC holding on to it, obviously maybe going for that death mosh value, and it is death metal.
House Party, by the way, from Lucio, not going for the Bossa Nova because he thinks he's only going to get 1 shield anyway, and he wants to keep himself alive a bit more, so he's staying near his team, get bonus healing on himself. Now, Joanna's already taken a bunch of damage, but here comes the Bloodlust. Lasts a ridiculous 16 seconds now, but here's the Mosh Pit onto Zul, but it's immediately interrupted. Zul completely fully healed now by those auto attacks. Mirai on the Joanna steps away. Mephisto and Sanidi still alive. Mirai, though, still falling low. Does still have the Indestructible available. There's the Death Metal, though.
Death Metal! The Indestructible coming out from Johanna though, able to keep her alive, and Soppel being popped as well. But Mephisto has his ultimate back up from that cooldown reduction, and the double static shields coming out, protected from Medivh. Is it enough? Erin just trying to auto attack on that Azul. Page Mixer trying to peel with the Q. Is Eddie transparent falling extremely low by Lucio's? Is Eddie goes in though, secures the 1 kill, can't get the second, and Leyline comes back out from Fizif, as you mentioned earlier, with that cooldown reduction on that level 16 talent, Temporal Flux. But if we look on the side of the blue team, they look fairly healthy again, as Lazy goes back in, spinning to winning here onto Rogue, but Rogue pops Ancestral Wrath and is able to walk away. But it looks like the shrine is going to go over to the blue team.
Brilliant play from Band of Brewers. I don't know if you caught as well the chase of Rogue onto Rogue's Thrall onto Lazy Sonya, which went up into the top fort, and then Sonya just turned around, took a chunk out of Rogue's HP, and then Rogue wasn't able to chase anymore or really participate in the fight. So lots of things happening all at once from Band of Brewers, and they secure themselves another Punisher marching in the mid lane. It's a Mortar Punisher. Again, we talked about the damage that this can do late game. If it catches on to anybody, it will just do so much damage with those mortars. But so far, they should be able to clear it safely enough.
This is a keep, definitively.
Yes,
definitely.
absolutely
Is this going to be game? Oh, Leyline coming out here from Medivh. Catches 3 people. What they're going to do is, Mirai goes on top of it, but is interrupted by the John Cena. Now, are they going to try and end, or are they just going to secure bot keep? You have a wave bot, so yeah, I think this is correct play possible. But Thrall, there are 5 people.
Yeah, ETC's arriving in 5 seconds, but that's a little bit... Oh, lovely slide from ETC!
Oh, into the 4-man Durance of Hate. Bloodlust being popped though. The blue team, they're trying to disengage here. They don't want to fight into the Bloodlust. Erin desperately chasing. Lands a Bone Prison onto transport. The slow from Rhaegar as well. ETC does have Death Metal available, remember. Does have that if he needs to. Fizif trying to back though, as the core is taking damage from the catapult. And it's going to be game. 11%, 7%. The blue team just run to the core.
They're going to try. Medivh's already dead. Mirai just trying to keep the catapults off for a few more seconds. Now Joy K's been caught as well. It's 2 down. They're going to start chasing. The shield's just about regenerating a little bit on the core, but there's no way that 3 can hold off 5 here. Can they do it? Rogue goes in, tries to create the space, but with Zul dead as well, it's 2-1 to Band of Brewers. And what a finish
Band
there.
of Brewers with the picture perfect finish coming out. Well played them with the reverse sweep as well, securing that game 2-1 from being 1-0 down on BOE. I mean, BOE was such a one-sided game that the last two series were so close and so different compared to that game one.
Yeah, brilliant performance here from Band of Brewers, and they showed. I love this Lucio idea as well. They've executed so nicely. The coordination it takes to make a Lucio comp work, because your team really has to move together or die alone, and they have.
If he dies, he dies. But
Exactly.
but Lucio was the bait of it a lot though, right? The focus was on Lucio before he get that sound barrier out.
And
But the blue
exactly at the
team just
end,
yeah.
you're absolutely right. And exactly at the end, did we see when SSS were like, "We'll pop Bloodlust and chase," and Lucio was like, "We're speeding out of here," and they managed to just kite them for long enough that the core was dying, and that's when SSS panicked and were like, "Oh dear, we have to deal with the fact that our core is falling apart."
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, negating the core there, the Punisher was left that a little bit too long, and that's the thing about the Mortar Punisher, right? And the wave that came in with it. It's just it scales so strong. So extremely unfortunate, but GG's and well played to both teams here. They're going to be one winner though in Heroes Lounge matches, and it's unfortunate because both teams played extremely well this series.
Yeah. This is the point when I mentioned that in earlier seasons of Heroes Lounge it was best of two, so you could get 1-1.
Okay, well I'm glad that changed.
But it did change, and now there can only be one winner in Heroes Lounge matches. So that is all from us. I mean, any final thoughts on what secured the victory for Band of Brewers here?
Ban Mephisto against Band of Brewers. That's what it is.
They seem to be a team that really likes comfort here, and the amount they went into ETC with Time Bullet, he really definitely comfortable on that hero and shows his prowess there. And the same with Mephisto there for Insanity, and Lucio for Transparent, which I was not expecting when I came into this match, but yeah, beautiful stuff there. So maybe comfort bands might be the focus for future teams who play against Band of Brewers. But Silence
Wait,
Suspended.
Did you mess up which teams were A and B, by the way?
No.
Are you sure?
I just haven't picked the winner yet.
Oh, you haven't picked the winner. There we are, chat. Calm down. Stop
There you
crying.
go. Sorry.
It will be sorted out, okay? There you are. Band of Brewers won the contest. Quit your crying. Quit your moaning. You get your points, okay? All of you. Pipe down and listen to the grown-ups talk while we cover off the final bit of the game. But I think you planned out Mephisto. Definitely. I think Mephisto was really well played in both series.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we talked about that camp invade where Silence Suspended but Sweet were trying to do a camp invade, and then there was just a durance in their face, and suddenly they lost half their health before Medivh could even react to protect them. So fantastic performance from Insanity on the Mephisto. So yes, that brings to an end our series. Any final thoughts from you, Aviator, on Heroes Lounge in general?
No, just that obviously Band of Brewers look a strong contender for Division 2 at the moment, and I also play in Division 2, so they look like a really tough team to face actually. So I look forward to playing them if we can actually get that high up to draw them. At the moment we can't, so fingers crossed that we actually get there. But no, they look really strong, and so do Silence Suspended but Sweet. Can't count them out at all at present.
Absolutely not. And I think these were two of the stronger teams in Division 2 going head to head. And of course, as you say, there can only be one winner. That's all we've got time for, but there will be more Heroes Lounge casts on later tonight. I think there are not just yet any on in English, but if you like German casts, you can go over to Sergeant Johnny, who is casting Division 6's I'm not going to pronounce them, but check it out, heroeslounge.gg/calendar if you want to read the team names.
But also, before Karis finishes off, if you want to see more of Karis later, you won't see his face, but you can see his name on above a hero in Heroes Lounge later on this evening, as he is being casted at 21:30 CEST tonight by Deadly Kitten and White Tiger, and the link is in the Discord, or it'll be on the calendar page as well. So if you haven't got enough of Karis and you want to see his name again, then make sure you check it out. Good luck
Yeah.
in your match as well, Karis.
Thank you, and thank you for joining me, Aviator, and thank you all the viewers for joining me as well. I've been Karis, and this is...
What's that crappy pasta? I'm not a mod!
It's Aviator, and we're going. Thank you very much for watching, and
Thank
stay
you.
tuned.